Okay, yesterday we started a new parak Pesach Sabatim, and so we reiterate it's describing that the chazaka of Re'iyah can usually by metaltalin, the fact that it's in your rishus, that's enough. Not usually, that is. In other words, if you have it, it's yours. You got to bring a raya that it's not. By karka, it's not like that. By karka, you have a cheskas marikama, the person who we knew own it, or the second person has to bring a raya that he bought it, he got it by matana. He'd have to bring a raya to it. That's up to 3 years. If he on this field for 3 years, or the house, or Beis Abad, or Shayvches, we had different places discussing different things. If he's on that for 3 years without any complaint, and he has a claim, he has to have a claim. You can't say no one told me not to be here. You had to have a claim that that I bought it or I got it as a matana. Where's your star? Where's your star? I don't know where the star is. I don't know. Because then, okay, within 3 years, you're supposed to have a star. If you don't have your star, after 3 years, not. After 3 years, not. Let's maybe we'll do. I want to do. I printed out. I sent out the svaras, the big machloikas over here, whether it's the Raisa or the Rabbanon, and I spoke at a Ramban yesterday that I want to go over and with a Ketzais. So I sent it out on the phones. You should have it. Everyone should have it. I think I got everybody. Chaim, it's on the original. It's on the original daf. You have a phone? Okay.
I can bring my phone.
Yeah, okay. So Chaim.
Huh?
Like in Norway.
No, thank you.
I had a Norway SIM card in it.
So I'm sorry that I can't help you. Okay, you'll figure that out. Okay, so I'd like to go through the svara over here.
You see it? Sit next to you?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah. I gotta move.
So this is the aside behind Shalosh Shanim. Why in the world, if it's in your hands for 3 years, does it become yours? In other words, it's kind of funny. We knew it was the other guys, right? We know for sure it was the other guys. You're claiming it's yours. Oh, 3 years later, you make a claim it's yours. Like, how does that work? How does the mechanism work? So Das Ramban, the Chenkosav Ridva, she'ika hachazaka hi machmas hoichacha she'akaka shel machzik. The ikka proof, in other words, the circumstances that are presented to us that this guy was on the field and no one said anything to him is kind of a hichacha, a proof that the person's on the land, it's his. Ube'emes shoris hadin haisa. The reality should be shekim shezeh machzik bekarka, since this guy is on the land. Va'oichel peris beli hafra, right, without any problem. No one is. He's eating peris like he's the balabas, right? He's eating without any complaints whatsoever. Bailim yoidim, and the bailim know about it. Again, one of the things about Shalosh Shanim, he has to know about it, and he knows about it. Vishoiskin, and he's quiet. Dinhu shetei raya afila b'achila achas. It really should be even one achila. Kimoshet tfisa ma'ila bin taltlin. Guys, if a person's typhus bin metaltlin, you're holding on to something, right? And the guy says it's mine. Prove it. I'm holding on to it. You got to prove it now. Again, I said yesterday, Benji, if I see a guy in my land, he's freshing my fruit. I'm going to walk by and say, oh, I got 3 years to make a macha. Right away, you're going to complain. Right away, you can complain. But you didn't. You didn't. The fact that you didn't open your mouth right away is a haichacha, is kind of a proof that what? That it belongs to the guy who's on the land. So, Taka, why do you need 3 years? So asvas. So if he's machzik and it's similar to a piece of metaltalin, it should be that let's give it to him. So this is what Ramban says. Let's give it to him. Elakivin shekarkois koinen bishtar, since karka is not koina, guys, with achilas peris. Karka is not koina with achilas peris. It's keser shtar v'chazaka, and you're going ahead. It's koina bishtar. The kivin she'ein lo shtar biyadav, and this person who's on the land does not have a shtar. Hari hayroches kasai. This weakens his chazaka. The Gemara is going to listen to Achve shtarcha, show me your star. In other words, the fact that he's on there and the guy didn't open his mouth is kind of a chacha that it's his land. But there's a reyasa, there's a negative. What's the negative? So where's your raya? In other words, the kinyan, you need a star. By metalton, you don't need a star. By karki, you need a star. Guys, you need a svara. So where's your star? So good. On one hand, if I have a feeling that it's yours, on the other hand, what? It's like chacha that it's not. Once 3 years pass, and no longer what? Does a person have to watch a star? Then mamidim b'cheskasai. So we got rid of the reyes, the guys. We got rid of the problem. Where's your star? I don't need it. I lost it. Oh, now what do you have? The fact that the guy was on it. The fact that the guy was on it. So again, 3 years is a din in watching the star. It's not a din in making the chazaka. Really, the chazaka is the fact that what the guy was on it the first time and you didn't open your mouth. But you had a reyesa that you didn't have the star. Once you don't have the star, that reyesa, that's the Ramban. That's not the Rabbanan.
No,
Or the Rabbanan's 3 years. The 3 years, the Rabbanan, they did that. But the fact that it's yours, muktzah, the Raisa.
Right.
Guys, the Ramban's the Raisa. In other words, the fact that in 3 years, the Chachamim were maimed, up to 3 years, you come out your star. But after that, why is it yours? The Raisa, you be machzik in it. You hear that? Good. That's the Ramban. And the Ketzos. This Ketzos is in Kuf Mem. The Ketzos HaChayshen in Kuf Mem Kosav, Shechazaka hi takanas Chachamim. This Chazaka, not the 3 years, the Chazaka, the whole Chazaka is takanas Chachamim, the Tikkun Olam, for the purpose of Tikkun Olam. She'ein ragilin lizor b'shmiras hashtar yosim mishalosh shanim, that you shouldn't have to watch your star more than 3 years. She'saiva hamachzik kimin sheyosim b'soichim meshach shalosh shanim v'ein erur shuv lo yisara oid erur v'lo nisa yoser. In other words, how long would you expect a person to watch a star? In other words, a guy owned it. We do title searches, right? We do things to make sure, correct? We get a deed. You put the deed in your safe. And if you lose it, there's always those hall of records, right? There's always somewhere along the line. So there's a built-in system, at least in the United States, to prove that the house was yours. But when you don't have that system, how long, isn't there a statute of limitations, how long I have to watch that star for? Now, if I'd have to watch it, you know what it would do? It would cause a loss for people to buy. People would be hesitant to do something. You know why? Because at any period in time, the guy can get it back. Where's your star? 20 years later, where's your star? I tell you, where's my star? I don't know where my star is. Goodbye. So the Chachamim says the Ketzos Chachamim made a tikkun in order to go ahead and facilitate sales. Shesayva machzik kimin sheyoshim b'soichim meshach shalosh shanim ve'ein erur shuv lo yisaroid. He's not going to complain anymore. And therefore he won't watch it anymore. The Rabbanan made a takana 3 years, chazaka of 3 years. It's the chazaka. In other words, according to him, the chazaka is 3 years. And Ma'ara, this can make a macha within 3 years. Now, you made a macha? Guess what? I'm going to go ahead and watch my star. And if he's not moicha between 3, he loses the mara. So according to Ketzos, it's the whole thing's a tikkun the Rabbanan. Even the chazak is the Rabbanan. But the Chacham said, okay. So these are the two approaches to go ahead and view Cheskes Shalosh Shanim. So it's a very good akdama to the lumdis, guys. This is the lumdis behind Cheskes Shalosh Shanim. Again, like the Ramban, the emes right away, the guys sitting on your land, eating your crops, you should open your mouth. And really, the fact that you didn't is like chacha that it's the guy who's on the land. That's like chacha. No one's going to go see that and not say anything. The guy's got a reyesa. What's his reyesa? He doesn't have what? Doesn't have a star. Okay. Once the reyes is gone, then you have the muchsik, the din of the raisa, guys, muchsik in the land. That's the Ramban. Says the Ketzos. No, Ketzos is an achron. He's backed up by Rishonim, I assume. But he says the following. He says that the whole din is in other words, how long can you expect the guy to watch it for? You're going to tell me at any period of time the guy can make ma'arer? At any period of time, you can make an error and say, guess what? It's my land. Where's your star? I lost it. Okay, goodbye. Who knows? So they gave a statute of limitations for 3 years, but the whole chazaka is the Rabban. Okay, I think it's a very geschmack akdama to the. Okay, this is from the Vishinantam, Lenny. It's from the Vishinantam. It's very good. It's very good. It's very good. Okay, so let's where are we holding? Let's go. Where are we holding? we saw yesterday where you get 3 years from. So Rabbi Yochanan said from Shor HaMuid. Guys, Rabbi Yochanan said from Shor HaMuid. And we went through parallels. We went through the different machinations of different halachas. Then if that's the case, then they shouldn't apply. You should need a machal, you should need a taina. And we answered up every single one, except one. We said, just like Rabbi Meir, once you do it 3 times, each time you change the status, so too, each achilas peiris should change the status. However, just like the shor, the other negicha wasn't there, when you eat the peiris, the other peri couldn't be there. So if you would have a scenario, guys, of being able to eat 3 peiris in 3 different times, then you wouldn't need 3 years. A spasta grows every 30 days. So if you have a spasta 1 day, 1 month, a spasta 2nd month, and a spasta 3rd month, finished, finito. So Fred the Gemara, why would you need 3 years? I could do it in 3 months, right? The guy watched me eat 1 month. He didn't say anything. A 2nd month, he didn't say anything. A 3rd month. And that's similar to Shara Mu'at 3 times. Beautiful. Says the Gemara, you're right. Who's the Tano who goes with the Shara Mu'at of Rabbi Yochanan? It's Rabbi Shmuel. Rabbi Shmuel said in our Mishnah, Einachinami, 3 different fruits, right? We had Geffen, we had Zayas, we had the Gregris, the dry Gregris, Einachinami. Good? Now, the Rabbanan argue on Rabbi Shmuel. They say 3 fruits not. So the question is, where is their source for Shalosh Shanim? After all, it can't be Shara Mu'ad, because Shara Mu'ad, 3 fruits should work. That's where we're up to. So we're up to Chav Ches Amid Beis. We are 4 lines from the bottom. The Rabbanan Mai, the Rabbanan who disagree with Rabbi Shmuel, and of the opinion, that what? That 3 fruits won't do the job. Mai, where do you know 3 years from? Rabbi Yosef Kroksiv. The pasuk says, the pasuk says that Yirmiyahu is telling people the following: you're going to go into Golus in 2 years. So he tells them in the 10th year, he says, go ahead and write a star. Go ahead, and the lashon of the pasuk is Sadais Bakesef Yeknu, the Kosev Basefer v'Chasum. Write up a star and sign it, right? That's what it says. Shari Navi, the Navi Yirmiyahu, Oimid Be'eser, Umazer al Achar Esrei. He said, listen, in the 11th year of Tzidkiyahu's reign, you're going to go into Golus. So he's warning them the following: you only have 2 years, Eser and 11. So since you only have 2 years, mashma, the 3rd year will be okay, but you don't have it. So we can ascertain when he told him to write a star, to go ahead and put a stempel on your bilus, right? That it's yours. When he gave him 2 years, why? Because 3 years, you wouldn't have to do it. That's a Taisus Kasha. Okay, whatever. Again, guys, we're going. This stuff. I spent your whole zman on this parak, yeshiva. A whole zman. We have Daf Yomi. Yeah, but I'm saying, what? 1 hour. Anyway, guys, and bottom line here. So l'chayri, that's his raya from Yirmiyah. Read the Gemara. What's your raya from Yirmiyah? That he told him this. Okay. Maybe he's telling them it's good advice. In other words, you're going to go into Golus. Maybe it's not the fact that the 3 years is a chazaka, but the fact that you know what, you need a raya. If you don't say that, so why does he tell the people in Bavel, Benu batim, v'shevu, go ahead, build houses and settle down, v'nitu ganois, and go ahead and plant gardens, v'achles piyon, and eat their crops. Now, what's he telling them? What is Yirmiyah telling them to do in Bavel? Ela eitza toiva kamash malon, achanami eitza toiva kamash malon. Let's see the last few Rashis in this. We're gonna miss Rashi, guys, until the end of December. Okay, so the Ilaite Mahachi, says Rashi, he sent to the people in Bavel the following advice. Shegolum Yechanya, they went to Golus earlier, to Yechanya. Yud Aleph Shana Koydem Golus Tzidkiyahu, 11 years before Tzidkiyahu, with the Chorish V'Katz, all the great Talmidei Chachamim. Banu Batim V'Shavu, Kiloi Seitzim Mishami, Ad Melois Bavel Shivashanim. Settle down, you're going to be there for 70 years. Lamalei La'asira Malzois, why do you have to warn them? Ela Eitza Toiva Kamash Malon. To whom Mesi Oisam, he's giving them Eitza Taiva. Achanami Eitza Taiva Ba'almahu. So l'chayre from Yirmiyahu, you don't have a good raya to 3 years. Maybe he's just telling them a good piece of advice to go ahead and and get edus. Teda, what's the raya? Dichsiv, unesatim bekli choresh, and you should go ahead and take your shtaros and put it in an earthenware kli. L'man yamdu yomim rabim, that it should go ahead and stay for a long period of time. So l'chayri that what you see that is it began the eitz toiva when he told him to hide the shtaros that they should be mekuyim for a long period of time. So therefore, according to the Rabbanon, we don't have a raya to according to the Rabbanon, we don't have a raya for 3 shanim. Now, until now, fellas, we thought it's a pasuk. We had Shara Muid, and we thought the pasuk was going to be from Yirmiyahu. The Gemara now is going to say it's not a pasuk, but it's a svara. The whole idea of Cheska Shalosh Shanim, guys, is a svara. Ela Amarava, Shasa Kamaisa, the first year, Machal Inish. The first year, a person is going to be Michael. He sees a guy eating crops. Okay, listen, man, I'll do a taiva. Tarti, second year, Machal, Plasley Machal. Plus, he's not going to be Michael. So therefore, it's a svara. Why 3 years? 2 years. Again, this is all the oimid, the chachamim, that the oimid a person's das, that for 2 years a guy will be Michael, the third year he won't be Michael, and the fact that he did make a macha after 3 years is a raya, because he would have gone ahead and not been Michael, he would have made a macha in the third year. The fact that he did is a raya. Says the Gemara, 1 second. Amalei Abaye, if that's correct, Rava, Elamiata, ki hodra ara, ki hodra lavar mi peri. If you're telling me that what? That he's Michael, let's guys, what happened, guys, following scenario. Guy's on the field 2 years, fresh his face off. Yeah? Comes the third year, says, what do you do in my field? He goes, I bought it. He goes, where's your star? I don't have it. The first guy keeps it, right? First guy keeps it, yeah? It's his. Yeah? Does he have to pay up the payris? Yes. But according to you, Rava, if you're Michael, why would you have to give the payris that you ate up? Read the Gemara, Elameato, if you're telling me that what? The Svara is Mechila, ki hodra ara, in a case where he has to go back and return the land, he should return it Levami Peri, excluding the Paris. Why? Because he is Michael. Allama Rav Nachman, on this Rav Nachman commented, hodra ara hodra Peri. Not only do you have to return the land within 3 years, but you'd have to go ahead and return the Paris too. So therefore, that Svara of Rav is not going to wash. Ella Amar Rava, Shasa Kamaisa Loikopid Inish. Okay, he's not Michael, but he's not makbid. I'm not Michael, but I'm not going to give you, I'll look away. Arti, I'll look away, like kapit. Plus kapit. In other words, I'm not Michael, you'll have to pay me up, but I'll look away. And therefore, in the second year, if I said something, you'd have to return it. Amalei Abayel Miyata, if you're telling me it depends upon hakpada, on a person being what? Being easygoing or tough going, and he's makbid or not makbid, El Miyata going hani debevar al Yashiv. The kapit afilu amanda the chalav mitzvah. These guys are so makbid, no trespassing. They stay in and mamish. They stay there and with a rifle, saying you'll be shot verboten. Don't come here. Afilu amanda chalav mitzvah. That anyone who comes on their boundary did who hachanami de la'alta v'chazaka. So therefore, you'd say immediately it's a chazaka because after all, they're makbid right away. You're going to say hachanami. It is a chazaka. You're giving your words up to Vensach, depending, right? In other words, when you give a halacha, it's universal halacha. So once you tell me it depends upon akpada, each person's different. So you're going to tell me this person's makbid after a year, this person's makbid after 2 years, this person's not makbid, is makbid right away. You can't make a cheshbon like that. So that can't be the svara. If the svara is akpada, we know that people who are makbid even earlier than 3 years. So that can't be the svara of 3 years. So we attempted mechila, we attempted hakpada, and now we're going to come up with what? A third reason, and this is the one that holds water, guys. This is the one that holds water that we just brought in the Ramban, and this is the one that El Amarava. Shasa Kamaisa, the first year, Mizdari Nish Bishtari, a person's going to watch a star. Tarti, second year, right? Petlas to Mizdar Tfei. Excuse me. I didn't read it right. Shos Kamaisa Mizdara Inish Bishtari. Tarti Vitlas Mizdara. Yeah, I read it right. Tfei Mizdara. But more than 3 years, he's not going to watch the star. More than 3 years, he's not going to watch the star. That's it. More than 3 years, he's not going to watch the star. Good? Okay, now, if he's not going to watch the star more than 3 years, what happens if he had a heads up that this guy is going to make a macha? He's going to be very careful to watch that star, right? If he knows this guy is out to get him, right, then he's going to be very, very makbid on the star, even more than 3 years. So on this, Abaya asks Rava, Amalei Abaya Elamiyata, if you're telling me that the svara is one that a person is gone ahead and can't watch a star more than 3 years, macha shalei b'fanav, a macha that a person makes shalei b'fanav. Benji's on my land. I heard about Benji being on my land, and I go to Bezdin, and I'm saying I'm making a macha that this guy is on my land and he didn't buy it from me. I'm making a macha right now. Now, you think that since Benji doesn't know about it, so therefore he doesn't have to be careful in the star. So according to this svara of Rava, why would macha shalei b'fanav, why me going ahead and making complaint shalei b'fanav work? After all, the whole reason for shalosh shanim is that he doesn't watch the star. If he doesn't know about my macha, why would he watch it? You know, and he should, because I'm going to come after 3 years and I'm going to say, look, I made a macha, but it shouldn't help, because how's he supposed to know? And therefore, more than 3 years, he's not expected to watch it. So in a case like this, if I would go ahead, I would go. Benji's on the field for 2.5 years. I'm halfway around the world. I make a macha in Bezdin over there. I show up after 3 years. Benji says, I lost the star. I'm not supposed to watch it. I said I made a macha. Guess what? He would lose. He would lose. But why? Why would he lose? Why should he lose? My macha should not count because it's more than 3 years. That's the kasha. So Elamayata says, Abaya, macha shalei b'fanav lo tavi macha. We know it is. So I'm a domalei, because he could say to him, Benji could say to me, if you would have made a macha in front of me, having this down the b'shtari, I would have gone ahead and watched my star. And for the Gemara, the Amalei, I can retort to Benji, Chavra islay, the Chavra islay. Your friend has a friend, your friend has a friend. Guys, we all know about rumors, correct? You all know about rumors, how they start, and they don't end. You don't really realize that I'm not even here right now. Been living in Eretz Yisrael for 5 years. I sold my house, I retired, and I moved to Israel. Everyone believes that. And everyone who sees me says, what are you doing here? So I began telling them I'm a hologram. I'm not a real person. Now, where did that start? It started, and it started, and it hasn't ended. It has not ended. And it gets passed down. It gets passed down. I was in Israel times. It goes, oh, I heard you moved here. In Israel, they heard I moved there. So Chavra, the Chavra Islay. In other words, it passes down. So Memela, therefore, Macha Shalei B'fanav helps. Benji can't tie into that. He didn't hear. Because if I made a Macha, it's going to get to him. News among Jews, especially, travels. That's that. And this holds water, guys. And this holds water. This is the Svarawat of Shalosh Shanim. So according to Rabbi Shmuel from Shara Muid, according to Rabbi the Rabbanon, right? The Rabbanon who don't agree with Rabbi Yishmael, the source is the Svar of Rabba, that a person is expected to watch a star for 3 years, more than 3 years, not. You have machloikis between the Ramban and the Ketzais.
Laser, is this different than a call?
What do you mean?
A lot of times you see the Gemara says there's a call about what's going on.
Yeah, a star. This is a macha b'fanav. You can't be samech on a call. Can't be samech on a call. Where's the call over? Where would the call be? Usually,
I don't know.
No,
Okay.
usually a call comes machmas a star, right?
Okay.
Or a poitiki, you make something in a poitiki. So that creates over here. You would have to go ahead and make an official macha. You have to make an official macha, and the expectation is that it would get there. Rav Huna. So let's see Rav Huna's thing. Rav Huna. Shalai shana shamru. I just wanted one thing, fellas. I have to give. If you look at Rashi, Aloma Rav Nachman lekaman b'shmaitza. That you have to return the Paris. Rashi says the Gemara. Does Rashi ad kan pirish Rashi zatzal. The kan ve'elach pirish Rabbeinu Shmuel b'Rab Meir. The rest of the Masechta is going to be his grandson, the Rashbam. Now it's very interesting. If you look at the footnote there, Bitfus Pizroi, Hanusach Kan Meis Rashi. Kan Meis Rashi. Here Rashi died. Very famous footnote. Kan Meis Rashi. So Rashi leaves us now until December 18th, I believe. And it's the Rashbams. They're lengthy. We will go through many of them because the daf can get very short. So therefore, we'd like to, I always think the more we do inside, the more you see, and the better. I just feeling is it's better than me just talking. Anyway, Rav Huna. Shalosh shanim shamru, hu sha'achlim mitzufais. You have to be consecutive. My kamash, what's the Amoyra Rav Huna telling me that I know from the Mishnah? Tanino, we learned that in Mishnah. Cheskasai shalosh shanim miyom liyom. The chazaka is 3 years shleimais from 354 days, right? And lunar year, complete years. So ma'adetema miyom liyom lafuke mikutois. I would think miyom liyom lafuke what mikutois, meaning Rabbi Shmuel said 18 months. And in other words, we can make part of a year. Rabbi Shmuel did it, Rabbi Kiva did it. Rabbi Shmuel had 18, Rabbi Kiva had 14. So I might think yom liyom means it's opposed to what? Opposed to short years. So in other words, guys, I need a complete year. So I would have thought maybe 1, 3, 5 would work. I'm on there 3 years, not 2 and 4, but 1, 3, and 5 would work. Why? And that miyom liyom means a shalim dik a year. What's that lafuke? A short year that what? A year that's, the last 3 months of the previous year, the first 3 months of the last year, like we said in the Mishnah. So I would think that maybe yom liyom means excluding that. But if they were complete years, yom liyom complete years, I would think you don't need what? Consecutive years. Kamash Malon, you need consecutive years. That's what Rav Huna is teaching me. Rav Chama, umayda Rav Huna is mayda. Be'asrei de muvrei ba'age, in a place where they leave in the valley empty fields. In other words, they leave empty fields. They leave them fallow, but usually not to weaken the fields. So they don't plant them every year. They don't plant them all the time. Umayda Rav Huna be'asrei de muvrei ba'age. What's he mayda? That it's enough a chazaka if you eat mifuzaros. In other words, this place they leave it fallow. So I can leave it fallow, and it's still me. I can be on 1, 3, and 5. If people are annoyed to go ahead and leave them empty, 2 and 4, right, then I can. But with moida, that will be a chazaka, even though they're scattered years. Why? Because this is the meaning of the place. They leave it what? To leave it empty. It says pshita l'chayr it's pasha. What's this chiddush? Like tzricha deika demover v'ika delaymover. There are those who leave it fallow and those who don't. The high gavra muvru, and this guy went ahead and left it fallow. So ma'od tema. I would have thought, he could say to him, if it was really yours, you should have planted and not left it fallow. Kamash Malon, that the machsa could say to him, in other words, what are you telling me? Everyone left it fallow and I should have planted because there's some who do. It's very hard to go ahead and have a shomer for one field. When everyone is planting in the field, one shomer can be enough for many fields. Now, for me to go ahead and have a shomer for one field, that doesn't make any sense. So you can't tell me I should have gone ahead and planted. I could tell you, I can't afford to have a shomer for one field. And inami, let's say the people did plant. Let's say people did plant. And therefore you can't say this taina of a shomer, meaning since other people planted, there's going to be a shomer for his field also. So you should have planted. In other words, you want to say, right? You want to tell me that what? You want to tell me that I should have planted? And other people planted? I don't want to plant. You know why? Because the year before I planted X, and I want my field to produce more, so I left it fallow. So your taina, the ma'aris taina, that you should have planted, I can go ahead and reject 2 ways. If I'm the only one who did plant, and everyone else, if no one planted, and you're telling me I should plant and have to hire a shomer for my field. Usually, the field's in a valley, and we have a shomer, one shomer or 2, and it goes around. So therefore, I can answer your taina. That's why I didn't plant. And even if other people did plant, and you do have a shomer, I still have a taina to you. What's my taina? I didn't plant because, again, there are people who don't plant. I didn't. I left the field fallow, so it should produce more crops in the next year. So Reb Papa would be moida. The fact that I'm not on the field then is not a chesaron in my bilus. That's what he says.
And if nobody plants, and he planted 1 and 3. So shouldn't 2 be included? That's what he did with his field, but everyone else does.
No, again, you have to have him eating Paris. So the fact that he didn't plant, he's not eating Paris doesn't count.
That doesn't count as a nice.
Right, it doesn't count. In other words, it has to be, I won't see you on my field and you know, you being on a field where you're not eating, it's not going to count. It has to be your eating. Now, says the Gemara, Tanan, Keskes abatim, v'habatim to be yamama yada b'layla yada. So 1 second. So we said Cheskes abatim, we said that what? That at night, excuse me, at a house, if you're in the house, squatting in a house, is 3 years. And you said mefuzaras don't count. You can have Eidim, he was in during the day, but what about nighttime? You can have Eidim at nighttime, and yet it's a good what? It's a good chazaka. Kasha on Rav Huna. Amar Abaya, man masid abatim. Who's going to go ahead and testify on houses? Shivavi. Neighbors. Shivavi made the other be Imam V'Laila. They know they did day and night. In other words, you're going to say, you know, I did make a macha because I didn't see you there at night. You'll bring Eidim. You were there at night. Who is the Eidim? The Eidim will be what? Neighbors. Rabbi says, Kigoin the Asu Beitrei, Ka'amri, to say the following. Ano agrinan mine. 2 people come and say, we rented it from the machzik. We rented it from Benji. Benji's on Rabbi Stern's field. We rented it from Benji. V'darina beit klash shonim b'yamam b'layla. And we lived there day and night. So you have Eidim, days and night. You have Eidim that they were there days and night. Amle Rav Yema Rav Ashi. Hani nagem beidusenheim. These people are not trustworthy because after all, if they paid rent to Benji and it proves that he wasn't the owner, they're gonna have to pay to me also. So they have every reason to go ahead and not be trustworthy because they gave money to Benji. They don't have to double pay. The Eloi Ami Hachi, if they don't say that they were there day and night, and that would break their chazaka, Amrina Lahu Zil Habile Aga Besa Lahai. Go pay Rabbi Stern, go pay Laser the money. In other words, the Kash is Azai. A house, says Rava, I have an akimta. What's my akimta? My akimta is that 2 people went ahead and they rented from the machzik, the person who's sitting on the land. And they're saying, we live there day and night. Okay, so they have good edus. Read the Gemara, this is not good edus. These people have everything to gain by going ahead and saying that what? They were machzik day and night. Why? Because if they weren't, then they have to go back to me. So they would have paid rent to Benji, who was machzik, and me, the owner. So how can you trust these guys? That's why I read the Gemara. Amalei. So Rav Ashi said to Rav Yemar, Dayonim the Shvili Hachi Dainin Hachi. Dayonim who are not Bakiyim, the Rashbam says. Dayonim who are not Bakiyim, this is the way they judge. Milo Yaskina going in the Kiti Agar Besa, they're holding on to the rent. They never paid Benji. They're holding on to the rent now. But Amri Leman Leasre, who should I give it to? That's who should I give it to? So in other words, they're saying they really are good Eidim. They're holding on to the rent and they have nothing to lose because Mamanav Shach they have to pay. They pay me, pay Benji or me. So therefore they're reliable Eidis. Amar Mazutra, says Mazutra, B'itoyin v'amar Laisi Tresadi Lasude Le, the Darbe Tlashne B'yamam B'layla, Tainisa Taina. If they say the 2 Eidis testify that they were there 3 years, day and night, it's a good taina. What does that mean? Let's see Rashbam. About 5 lines up from the bottom, guys. Amar Mazutra, Itoyin. Milsa ba'api nafshehi. Says the Rashbam, this is a separate conversation. It's not a continuity of the previous Gemara. I mean, it's a new statement. Milsa ba'api nafshehi. The Pshita leila Mazutra, the afagav the boy kol hanach amroy le'el gimel shonim etzufais. Even though all the Amoroyim before needed 3 consecutive years, afilu hachi ein mechayvin es hamachzik lehevi edim sheyidu beferish akol yom v'leilos. You don't need edim on day and night. Even though you need 3 consecutive years, the fact that you don't have edus at night will not make him a fuzarais. The fact that you don't have edus at night will not go ahead and end it. Elo yeyidu stam. Guys, you hear? Guys, if you're not Laila, like Rav Huna, you don't have mifuzarais. Says Rav Mazutra, no. People Adam come along and they testify stam. Shara'u dar gimel shonim. They lived there for 3 years. Umistama Im dar bebayis, af belelis dar boy. If he's living in the house, he's not leaving at night. If he's living in the house, he's living in the house. You leave your house at night, you don't leave your house at night. If you see a guy living there during the day, you can be assured he's living there at night. So you don't need Adis on the night. Become a Mazutra, the Tayin Ma'arer, if the in the Misnero me and Benji, if I'm complaining, V'amar, I see Sade bring Adis that day and night, Taina say Taina, then it's a good Taina. It's Sarach Sheyevo Edim Shalelos for Yamim. Then you'd have to bring Adis. The key of the Tayin Taina's Bari, since he's saying a Taina Bari, the Ka'amar, Ani Ro Isiv Shlei Dar Belelos Bebesi. I saw you not living at night. That's what he's tining, guys. He's tining, I saw you not living there at night, and therefore I didn't have to make a macha. And therefore I didn't make a macha. That's my taina. I'm saying that what? You're tiny, you live there, you live during the day. At night, you didn't live there. And I'm saying you didn't live there, and therefore I didn't make a macha. I see Sadeh the Darbe, Talashanim, Ben Bimama, Ben Belayla. And therefore, so you're being Adis. You would need Adim to go ahead and weaken my complaint. You should have been Meicha. So, says the Rashbam, Stamazoi, you don't need. But if the Ma'aris says, I saw you not there at night, then you'd have to bring Adis, because he has a time of Bari. Says, so let's see the Gemara now. Amar Zutra. V'toyin v'omar, if the Ma'ara complains and says, Lesi tre sadi lasude lay, bring two witnesses, the darbe tlashani b'yamam v'layla, that you live there day and night, because you know why? Because I saw you not living there at night. I know say taina, then it's a good taina. On my base. Okay, that's Mazutra. Umoida Mazutra, and Mazutra is Moida. Beroichlin hamachzirim ba'yaros. We just met this on Daf Chaf Beis by the peddlers who go ahead and peddle women's stuff from city. The afagav leitayin, even if they don't say this that you live there day and night. Hanin and lay anan. We'll go ahead what and make a taina for them, right? In other words, they're not living in the city. They don't know what's going on, right? And now they come home, and this guy's machzor comes out, and they don't know that what to be ma'ar me'olam. They never knew that this guy was in their house, and therefore they were quiet and they didn't make a macha. Therefore, right. Therefore, Yavi the machzik edim shloyatzim in abayis kol shonim. Rashbam, I'm in the middle of Rashbam. He brings edim that he did not go ahead that leave for 3 years. Afilu laila asa. Okay, so it says the Razutra with Moida that even though you'll only go ahead and bring edim if he comes with a complaint of the ma'arer, according to Mazutra, if it's a roichel, we will go ahead and complain for him. We will complain for him and say, bring Adis. Because again, he had no way of knowing. He had no way of knowing. He was on the road. How's he supposed to know this guy is there? So we will go ahead and be machzik. We'll go ahead, right, and ask him to go ahead and we make this time that he has to bring Adis.
Is that a thing? I mean, we have a non-sadi that we can be a witness, but we can be a toain also for somebody?
We just had a Gemara. Bezin's Tanil Yisrael and Bezin, yes, Bezin's Tayyid. Bezin makes that claim, yeah. Yeah, for sure. We had earlier. We had this earlier of Avi that Bezdin can be tayin, that Bezdin can make the taina for him. So now, umoid Rav Huna bechanusa de mechuza in the stores of mechuza the liyamama avidi l'layla loy avidi, that they live there in the day and they don't live there in the night. There's a long taisus over here. Let's a quick taisus. Umoid Rav Huna. Okay, that's the taisus, guys. Umoid Rav Huna. Pirish umar lehem in echziku gimel shanim, just during the day. The afgav the lab shalish ritzufais elam fuzarais, even though they're not complete because they're not there at night. Even though chayav b'hachi davi kaasei the muvri bage, it's similar to what a field that you leave fallow. So people live in a chanus during the day, not at night. Then Toimer came pshita the meider afuna ki the parachle, also the same thing by bagi. The shleimar fisha beni adam she'ina chanunim darim behem bein biyom bein belayla. Guys, you ever see a Chinese laundry? The old days, they live in the back. They lived in the back, right? And so you could have people living in there who are not part of the store. They not necessarily they're part of the store. They just lived in there. So you had stores then that people who were not part of the store lived in there, and they lived there day and night. Those people would need day and night. The salkadaita of the chenvani nami it's came. and that the storekeeper also would need 3 years, day and night. Kamash Malon, that you would not need a day and night. High time the Hainu Taisis Chiddush Vav Shanim. You need 6 years. You need 6 years because you need 6 years on day, and that's Taisis Shita. Other Shanim argue, but since you don't have Edis on the night, you would need six day time. That's Taisis Shita, and we can hold 3. Okay, back in the Gemara. So Umayda Rav Huna Birchanusa, again according to Taisis, the people who don't normally live there, the Mechuza the Limam Avdi the Laila Avdina. Rami Bar Chama Rav Ukva Bar Chama Zavin Ahu Amsa. They bought a maidservant. Bahadi Adadi. Marish Namish Bar Rishayna Shlishas V'Chamishis. One used the years 1, 3, and 5. Umarish Namish Bar Shniya Revia V'Shishis. One used the 2, 4, and 6. Nafik Arar Alave came out an era that that it wasn't there. The sale belonged to somebody else. Asal Kamei Rava Amalahu. My time Avidasahachi. Why'd you go ahead and why'd you split it up? That you shouldn't have a chazak on each one. In other words, what did you do? What did you do? In other words, you wanted to make sure that you have 3 complete years. So you went odds and evens, yeah? Guys, you went odds and evens. So now, guess what? You don't have a chazaka, but guess what? You don't have a chazaka. Can I get the ma'arer either? Right? So therefore, you would lose the eved. That you lose the eved, ela delay kosev itra. If you didn't write a star. Here's Meya. If you write Meya, I told you, write a star, here's a coil. Says the Rashbam. Okay, guys. The see the Rashbam is going to be 2 days in the Rashbam. Itra. The Rashbam Itra. Star Chaluka. What's an Itra? It's a star that we divided it up. Ube'edim. Shetoibi l'zeh that you're going to work for me 1 and you for year 2. Yesh mefarshim kola islay. V'hoyo limchas miyad. Since there's a coil, you should be moich immediately. V'loi micha. V'la alta havi chazaka. This is one opinion, and immediately it's a chazaka. Skip down. They nearly cloud. They nearly cloud right before it gets wide. Right? The first 3 years is a chazaka. In other words, guys, since they have a star that said they divided it up, then it's not considered mefuzaris. It's considered 3, consecutive years. Okay. So Rashbam is choilik. There's an opinion that immediately it's chazaka. He goes, no. Star is the coil. What does the coil do? That since they wrote it up, it's not pshat that no one has 3 consecutive years. No, the star makes it what? It's like 3 consecutive years, right? And therefore it's chazaka. Back in the Gemara. Amarava, ochel kula chutz mi beis roiva. If he ate the whole field, with exception of a beis roiva, kana kula chutz mi beis roiva, the place that you can put the roiva cup. Amrav Huna, bereid Rav Yeshua, v'lei amarin ela debar zriyahu. If it's not a place that's normally planted, then konale agav ara. So in other words, you have a field, 3 years, you didn't plant that little area. If it's a field that's planted, it's not yours. If it's not planted, then agav, it's yours. Let's say you have a field that's rocky and you can't plant. How are you going to be kind of the field? You're telling me that the whole way you kind of that place that's not a basriya is agav the field that is a basriya. Let's say the whole field you can't plant anything. How are you going to acquire the field? Ella by putting livestock there, or putting paris over there to go ahead and dry out. So that's how you can be kind of the field. Regarding that base roiva, you should have gone ahead and put livestock there. Hinami mishtata b'peri, you should have gone ahead and spread paris. But again, you're not going to be kind of agav the basriya. Bar, it's not a field.